Okay, so we're going to just, we talked about compression. Let's start to actually look at that a little bit. We've created a drummer track right here, and drums are one of the first places people want to learn about compression. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that channel strip over here, and you'll see that they've already put an EQ and a compressor on. I'm just going to turn off the EQ so we're not paying any attention to that. And I'm going to double click on the compressor here and see what's going on. Okay. They've put one on already for us. Okay. And so we're going to use the one they have, and we're just going to start by adjusting the threshold right here, which is the point at which the compressor activates. Anything above that threshold will be reduced by the amount of the ratio. Okay. Come over here, we look. We've got threshold right here. We've got ratio right here. We've got our attack, our release, our knee, and our makeup. Now, one of the things I recommend doing in this particular compressor, if you have one, is just turning on the auto gain thing. What does that do? Well, that is going to take this makeup level and do it for you automatically. The amount of reduction you put on, it'll turn it up the right amount so it sounds about the same average level. That's a good thing because otherwise, when you turn the compressor on, it's going to turn your volume down, and your ear will hear more the change in volume than it'll hear the effect of the compression. Okay. So I always recommend picking this -12 one. Okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to bring down this threshold, and let's see. I'm going to start it at 0 dB, which means there's no reduction. A tiny bit moving there, and then I'm going to bring it down and watch what happens to that needle. It's going to start adding more reduction. And if I bring it way down, this is highly compressed. I'm hoping you can notice that you can hear the reverb in the room a lot more. It sounds kind of dirty. It's taking the attack out and turning up everything else. So the reverb sounds louder next to it. Let me bring threshold back up. Hear that difference? Huge, right? So if you compress the loud signal and turn everything up, you take everything else and make it louder compared to the loud signal, and you suck out a lot of energy of that high signal. Okay? I can turn up the ratio right here to make it stronger. So if I want to make it 8:1, at this point it's really going to crunch this when I bring it down. Really smash the signal. This does not sound like a drum set. This sounds like the echo in a room almost, right? You've almost taken the drums out of it and you're just listening to the reverb at this point. That's the sound of compression. I can change the attack and release. Right here, I'll change the attack. If I shorten this attack, it should kill even the little click of the drum. Let's see what happens. Gone. There's no attack on those drums, is there? If I want to hear the attack, I have to slow it down a little bit and let some of the drum through. Hear it? I'm changing right here. I'm at the very bottom. It might be hard for you to see. I'm turning the attack to 0. It's killing as soon as that drum goes above the threshold, it's just smashing it down. If I slow down the attack, I let some of the beginning of the drum come through. If I slow it down enough, the compressor doesn't even kick in by the time the drum gets through. Release. If I set a really fast attack and let me try a quick release, the drums should almost sound like they're going to go backwards because it's going to crush the beginning and then it'll open up as the drum maybe is still ringing. Let's see if I can do that. What are we hearing? Distortion. Because I'm so messing with that signal right now, right? This release is making it almost, the short attack and short release is almost making it a square wave. Each wave is getting capped off instantly and then let go of instantly. Is that a cool sound? Sure, if you want to use that, right? Might be a bit much. A slow release means by the time the next beat comes in, it's still compressing from the last beat. I've just turned everything down here. Can't hear any of it, right? Okay. I've almost got rid of the drums. I almost just have reverb at that point, don't I? The makeup gain, I'm not even going to worry about because I put that auto gain on. The auto gain's going. Okay. There's some demonstrations of compression. I'm going to pause that while you play around with that. Oh, and you can always hit this compare to go back to the setting they had. Give that a shot. See if you can do that. See if you can suck the attack portion out of the drums and have the room or the quieter signal be almost as loud as the initial signal. Okay? The reverb in the room is as loud as the drum snare would have been. See if you can do it. So now I'm going to give you Nate's simple shortcut for adding compression to anything. You have your track going. You love your track. You are going to turn a compressor on that track. You're going to go through and you're going to look at a compressor by Tools, I guess, or drums. There we go. Could be bass, could be anything, and you're going to look at one that you like the name of. So Opto Drum Kit, that sounds awesome. And then click the auto. Sorry, click the auto gain. That was my demonstration of distortion. And adjust the threshold until there's about that much compression on it, between 3 and 5 decibels. And if you don't like the way that sounds, switch it. Do this for bass, do it for voice, do it for drums. Don't do it on any loop that's already been produced. Don't do it on any synthesizer because you already are in control of that sound. And drummer already has it built in on theirs. Okay? And that's, I think that's about the right amount of compression right there. I wouldn't want any more than that. If I turn that threshold up, no compression. Got a little more meat to it. You hear the meat down there? A little bit more low end. If I take this up too high, it's going to start all mushy, right? All mushy. So 3 to 5 decibels, right about there. That's why this first mark is there. It's a good stopping point for the compressor. You put much more in that, you're starting to really mess with the envelope to such a degree that you're using it as an effect in itself. You're not using it to try to fix the initial sound. Okay? I would do the same thing with bass. I would come over here. I would add, oops, I don't even need to do that. I will put a new bass track in here. It's not very good bass. I really don't like that bass sound, but that's okay. Maybe I should find a non-shuffled bass. There we go. We'll throw that one in. If I wanted to put some compression in that, I would come in. I would pick the compressor. I would go to compressor tools, or by type, their bass one, electric bass, a FET electric bass. If I decided I wanted to change it to gray or black or maybe blue, there's a red one. Now I like red. Okay, and then I would adjust the threshold until about 3 decibels reduction, 3 to 5. I don't know if you can hear that actually did help that bass. It smoothed it out a little bit because the bass was kind of coming and going. Did you see that really loud note at the beginning when it do, and then you see that compressor reduced it really quick? That actually helped. I was going to say don't ever use compression on loops, but actually this one I might have. Right there, see it brought those loud notes down just a little bit. It actually worked to cut that down a little bit. Okay. This is actually a good loop to take. Yeah, there's a blue one, and then a red one, and then a black.
Like the sound.
They do. They sound different, and I've clicked through them a million times and been like, oh yeah, oh I don't know, ooh maybe that, oh that one sounds good. I've spent a lot of time like trying to get to some sort of conclusion on. I've decided that I think I like this platinum one the best.
Yes,
I tend to end up using this one probably because I like blue though. But in my mind somehow I've been convinced that I like the sound of that. Yeah, they do. They sound different. Basically, they're going to emphasize different frequencies, different frequency and probably amplitude curves in it. So. And I'm sure if you wanted, you could read up on what it is about the platinum one that does its thing or something like that. So here, I just pulled up the shortcut key on that. Main parameter, yeah, so circuit types. There you go. It actually describes it a little bit. Okay, describes it a little bit. I would just pick one you like the sound of and put 3 to 5 decibels of reduction on. And then when you come to your final mix, you mix your final mix. You got this going. I come over to my master, and basically I just stick on that adaptive limiter, and I change the gain until I have 3 to 4 decibels of reduction. There I have it. This is what you want to do. If your mix is coming in too loud or quiet, you'll have to adjust this, right? Now I've got 5 decibels of reduction. I have too much compression going on. Now I have none. My sound is probably too quiet. So you just turn up this gain until you have 3 to 4 in there. Right about there. That's going to be pretty good. That's going to give you a really nice mix. I just changing this gain right here.
No, I mean, how'd you get the plugins to the bottom?
Okay. So I just went over to, right here. I clicked the mix window.
Oh, okay, it's usually over there.
Yeah, I could have done it here too, in the stereo op. Good question. So I just went here, dynamics, adaptive limiter. I throw across the main, and then maybe 3 to 5 decibels on individual tracks, but mainly tracks that you've recorded on. Yeah, and I
wanted to tell you, like in the top volume when it's red, notice that it bounces lower. Like it's not as loud.
So when you hit play like this, by putting that adaptive limiter there, you'll see that I am now maxing it out. It's not going over 0. It's a limiter. It's got a ratio of an infinity to 1. That's what this does. So if you make sure you have 3 to 4 decibels of reduction here, it'll take care of all the rest for you and max it out at this point without overdoing it. And that'll be the level when you bounce it. That'll be the level when you bounce it.
Okay.
So, yep. Yep, on the stereo out. Okay. This would be a very typical look right here. You'd have this compressor here, there. I probably, this bass is a little flat. I might add that little enhancer, right? What was that, or exciter? All that high frequency in the bass now, right? I might not want that if I have guitar as a voice up there, but for this it makes sense to be able to hear, right? Because I've only got those two things going on. And then of course you always turn the bass down lower than you want it to be. Sound good? Simple, light, and understand the concepts. So should I stop that recording? Anything else you want me to put on?